being in my walk as a Christian, I have ran into other Christians where they have given up the faith. They just don't want anything to do with God. There's moments where they've been like, oh, yeah, I was a Christian at one time, or yeah, I was this, but God didn't answer my prayer that I was asking Him. God let my family member die. God did this, God did that, God did that. And in the beginning of my walk, I would always question that. Like, God, if this person was following your path, or if this person was doing this, why did they suffer that consequence so bad that they strayed from your path and became homeless, became jobless, became into drugs and fell into this, And it's like these people followed you and a life tragedy hit. Where were you when that life tragedy hit? What happened? It was always a question that I had. So let's take a look at Proverbs 15, verse 10. It says, discipline is harsh for the one who leaves the path. The one who hates correction will die. So there are moments where in our life, now walking in being a follower of Christ and going through things in my life that have either broken me or just completely flat out like kicked me to the curb, to where the point where I was just like, Lord, this walk is hard, and where I've drifted away from the Lord. I have myself drifted away from the Lord because I'm just like, this is too hard. This life is too hard. Like, there's moments where you go through in your life where you're like, yeah, the Lord's got me. The Lord's got me. And He does got you, but the outcome doesn't come out of what we expected it to come out. And there's moments where you feel weak. You feel spiritually weak. Like, what's going on? Like, Lord, why did this happen? I was believing in this, or I was asking you in this, but why did this happen? And the important thing in the moment of those things, we tend to just, why? Or tend to just be like, oh, the Lord really doesn't answer my prayers. The Lord's just not, all these things that the enemy puts in our mind. But what should come to our mind is, okay, Lord, it's not my time yet. Okay, Lord, I trust your process. That's why we have to trust Him. That's why we have faith, believing without seeing, even though our circumstances all around us is literally like, oh, this is not going to happen for me. And sometimes it happens because God got us like that. But that's the point in this walk, is having faith. And that's why that's like the key word in all of this, in having faith in God, because even though we don't see it, even though we just are literally to the point where we're not even going to believe it, because everything around us is just giving us the other way. But we still have to believe. We have to believe God's plan, whether it's what we want. Regardless, God knows what's best for us. So we have to have that faith. So when moments like that happen, you can either, God will discipline you, or there's things like that happen that we also need to be quick to understand that the devil is the one that is around here. The one is the king of the world right now. He's the one that is whatever. Instead of us blaming God for all that wrong that's going on, we need to be quick to blame the devil, because he's the one that is taking over right now. That's why we're waiting for Jesus' second coming, when He takes over His kingdom. Right now, the devil is having his time and his place right now, but the Lord is gonna come back and He's gonna take His place, because it's the Lord's place. But until then, we need to stop blaming God for all that happens, all the bad things that happen, because it's the devil. It's the devil. Just like you believe God because you're quick to believe Him, be quick to blame the devil, because anything that's horrible, that's violence, that's murder, that's just not from good, is the devil. So when those things in our life happen, we have to trust God. We just simply have to trust God. I know it's hard. It's hard. It's very, very hard, because in our eyes, we just see that there is just no winning this battle of sadness, of overthinking, of anything that you're feeling. It does seem like it's a just never ending battle at moments. But we just have to trust God. We have to trust God, and we have to believe in him. When the moments that we are feeling like we're falling away from him, are feeling just spiritually dry, we need to just go fill ourselves up with him and just trust him. Even if it hurts reading that Bible, even if it hurts praying, even if it hurts, you just have to trust him and give it to him. So it says, discipline is harsh for the one who leaves the path. So when they leave that path, it's harsh. The world comes at full force because they know that you have been a child of God, that you know the path of righteousness. So it will come. The devil is like, yes, finally. His ending for you when you leave the path is death. So he will throw sin as much as he can. He will throw anything as much as he can to keep you as much as distracted from God. And that's when discipline comes, the consequences of our actions. And people could go one or two ways. They can learn from that discipline and be like, okay, yeah, the world is not for me. I need to go back to my God. I need to go back to my Father, the one who protected me from this world. Or people just keep falling and falling and falling. And that's what the Lord doesn't want us to do. That's why he disciplines us. That's why he disciplines us in our consequences, just like we discipline our kids, because we don't want them to keep doing the same mistakes. We want them to learn from them. And then the second verse says, the one who hates correction will die. If you lean on yourself and you say, nope, I'm going to keep doing me, I'm going to keep living my life, I'm going to keep being a rebel, then you will lose your life. You will lead to death. And that's why sometimes in those drugs, people overdose. In homelessness, people die because they just don't care to look for God. They want to keep being in that drug. They want to keep being in those streets. They want to keep doing that instead of just trusting in God that one day God will keep me out of the streets. I've experienced homelessness. I firsthand have experienced it, and it is not something that is fun. It is not something that people want to do. But if the help is out there, you have to go and reach for it. There is no excuse for any of us because there is help out there. And God, when you lean on him, he will put the correct people in your path. You need to lean on him and trust him. Everything is a learning process. Everything is a process. It's not overnight. Sometimes it can be. God works in the way that he knows what is good for us. But sometimes we need to learn. We need to mature in that walk. So when we have what we get, we know how to take care of it. So brothers and sisters, if God is disciplining you right now in something that you know you shouldn't be taking a part of, go back to him, turn away from that sin, turn away from that thing that is trying to keep you away from the Lord, because the end of the road of hating correction, hating discipline is death. And that is said in God's word, and God's word does not lie. He just speaks truth. So keep strong, brothers and sisters. We are just here temporary. We are not here forever. But while we're here, let's make it worth it. Let's make our life worth it and not suffer in what the enemy wants us to fall into. God bless and have an amazing day.